Hey guys, what's going on? Lucky here. That's my buddy Steve. Say what's up, Steve.
What up?
We are working on this. I got out of the tech center a little early today, just a couple hours. I'm there all this week and all next week, but this has been just bugging the heck out of me. So I called my buddy Steve. He has a real job, but now he's hanging out over here, and we're gonna get some crap done. Man, I wish this phone would quit doing that. So here's the bottom. You can see someone put floors in this thing and did a mediocre job. So I'm gonna clean all that up just because that will not stand. And by clean up, I mean re-weld and cover. Hey, you gotta respect the honesty. No rust down here, but there's a lot of dirt. They hose. Oh, you know what? This thing sat out in the desert in the rain, so this is just from downpours, torrential downpours in Arizona. And frame's clean. I was kind of worried about lifting it and seeing some spots that had been mangled, but it's all there. Looks like it's never been mangled yet. So that's it. I'm gonna roll this out of the way, put the car down on a roll around dolly. I make them out of 4x4s and those little $9 furniture dollies you get from Harbor Freight. Push it back over underneath the broken Chevelle, and then put the frame on this lift and start taking the suspension apart so they can go over to sandblast. And then it will be time for some of that HPI love, frame reinforcements, and then after that maybe some QA1 love, full suspension, and then start putting it all back together. See you guys. So see you later, Steve. Okay, so here's the progress today. I got the Dirty Dingo motor plates in for the motor mounts. I stopped by Muscle Factory and grabbed some urethane motor mounts and tranny mount. I opened up the Gear Star box. I've been having stashed in the corner over there, and got the stock trans cross member. Just got to drill some more holes. I'm gonna actually be boxing this frame in, so I'll be leaving an opening there. Actually, I don't even think I'll be using this. The HPI kit, reinforcement kit, comes with a trans cross member and a spot to hang the exhaust and everything. So that's just holding it in there so I can have an idea of what the angle should be. These motor mounts are slotted, so I can move it forwards or backwards depending on what steering I got going on. It's a front steer car, so it's not really a lot of issues there, but I'm probably gonna move it as far back as I can. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to modify the tunnel. And if that's the case, I'll modify the firewall too. Keep this thing back as far as I can. But that's it. It's progress. Not a lot, but some. So pretty jazzed on that. I'll tell you, this Pierre block is a lifesaver. I don't have to lug a motor in and out. You know what else I got over here that I will be using with the new motor? My friends at Dirty Dingo hooked me up with a motor plate for LS. Actually, for almost anything. Comes with different bolts. Bolt it up where you want it. Thanks, Dirty Dingo. Looking forward to seeing everybody over at SEMA. And yeah, I think that's progress for the day. It's hot. I'm tired. I'm dirty. Thanks a lot for checking it out, you guys. We'll see you later. Okay, that was it. That was the fire up. This thing was quite the fiasco. I'm still waiting on a couple things like the dipstick tube for the transmission. I've kind of estimated how much is in there. I'm going to make some new power steering lines. I just had to put that on there for now. IAC, I'm sorry, the MAT sensor, manifold air temp sensor, is just sort of sitting right there. It actually fits into the base of the air cleaner. But I just got done checking for leaks and everything. I'm going to probably change these valve covers or make some sort of retainers that hold those wires. I kind of like the whole aesthetic of, you know, a V8 with wires going over the valve covers and to the back under the air cleaner. Other than that, man, pretty close. There's no wiring in this car whatsoever. I put a battery in the back, mounted the battery in the back, and I use the term mounted loosely. And I've grounded everything. It's got good grounds, everything. I built a battery cable that goes from the trunk of the car or the back of the wagon all the way to the front to the bulkhead fitting on the firewall right there. Cool part about that is it leaves me with the provisions to be able to do anything. There are no wiring in the car, no fuse box, no nothing. I just went to the bulkhead fitting right there, put a ring terminal on it, went to a toggle switch, and then grabbed the excite wire from the starter motor. I'm able to tap it all together, click it on, turn the key on, obviously crank it over, fire it up. Okay, it is the next day. I worked on this thing till about 7 o'clock last night, not really a long day. This is a painless kit. It's a universal, I believe. It is a 25 circuit key on dash or steering column. This says key on dash, but it gives you the plastic Molexes to put the, it's kind of a neat kit too. Yeah, it gives you the plastic Molexes to even interface to the steering column and the ignition switch in the steering column. Yeah, this thing is pretty cool. It's a very thorough kit. Has everything you could possibly need and then a bunch of stuff you don't. That's a good point right there. This is a larger gauge wire that goes from the alternator to charge the car. A lot of guys use the smaller wire like that. It's not really enough to charge the car. Well, it kind of is enough to charge the car, but a larger wire is actually just better. It comes with all kinds of extra plugs and the headlight Molexes and stuff like that. I have some other ones. It comes with under dash lights, courtesy lights. But you have to build them, which is still kind of cool. Crimping these wires onto the end, all the stuff to put that together, and then a whole bunch of crimp style or solder style terminals. I will say that usually all the stuff that comes in this kit, there's more than enough stuff there to last a while. Like you don't use it all up on one project. Grounds, very important always. Side markers, they take 194 bulbs. Good thing to have. You can either use those for dash lights or whatever. 100 amp fuse right there along with a fuse holder. I put that right where the power source comes in. Probably not going to pull 100 amp. There's a big old diode in there. Maybe not a diode, a resistor of some sort. Let's research what that is. It's probably for the alternator. I just saw an LED too. Oh no, there's a one-way diode one. There's a one-way right there. Another diode. That could be a noise capacitor for the radio. Don't know. Gotta look in there. Yeah, a bunch of little pieces of heat shrink. Put stuff together. Different types of turn indicator plugs, which is good to have. I actually have a whole drawer full of this. This whole toolbox is just full of wiring leftovers. Well, not the whole toolbox, but a couple of the drawers. Oh, perfect, a new one of these. Brake light center. If you do LEDs, you need a special flasher. But yeah, so let's look at the progress on the vehicle. There's my old ignition switch right there. Disregard the OSHA approved sandals. Main harness pulled from the front to the back. I'm actually going to be relocating the seat. I'm going to build a little bracket today to move the seat back. As you can see, it's sitting in there about normal right now. Maybe the driver's side is back a little bit. So I need to move it back about 4 inches, I think.
just to be comfortable. The further you move it forward, the higher the front of it is, which makes it recline in the back. And if you put a spacer under the back, but then the whole seat's too high, you don't have any headroom. So I think it's probably because I raised the tunnel a little bit, even though I thought I stopped raising the tunnel about where the seat was, but I could be a little bit off. But I need to do that to get the transmission in. Anyway, right now this thing is start with key, so that is good. This harness has provisions for power windows, power door locks, and then another additional accessory all through the fuse box. I pulled the main harness or the rear harness to the rear of the car. I like to go through the harness, put the fuse box, say, in a vise or on the workbench, and since you're pulling wires, you want it kind of secure there. And then I'll go through and snip out not all, but a lot of the zip ties that the manufacturer puts in. For example, this had provisions for temperature and oil pressure. I don't need those wires. I don't need any of the wires that feed the regulator because it's an electronic regulator controlled through the computer or pre-wired into the harness. Same with temp sensors. That's all CAN bus. I don't need those wires coming from the front of the car to the dash area, just cluttering stuff up. It's only a couple of wires, you say that, but that all adds up. For example, I'm not gonna put power windows in it. I'm not gonna put power door locks. However, I did save one auxiliary harness out to run the rear power window, so just one wire from the front to the back. Actually, it's two wires reverse polarity, unless I put a relay in the back. Sorry, thinking again. I'll stop that. So anyway, like I said, I put the fuse box on the bench or vise and start separating the wires. I'm going to have ignition trigger wire inside the car, not in the engine compartment, so I pull that back out of the front wiring harness. I'm going to have the starter engage wire inside the car. It's not going to go through the firewall and down to the starter motor on the left side. It goes through the middle. So I've already pulled all those wires into the car. So it makes it a couple things, a little bit difficult to steal. If you're going to steal the car, you're going to pop, old cars like this, you pop the hood, you run a wire from the battery right to the ignition system, that turns the key on, and then you just take a wire or a test light, you stab into the starter wire, you fire it up, and you leave. Can't really do that on my car. Everything is very, nothing's convenient to get to, let's put it that way. Pulled the wire, separated everything, rerouted the harness so that I have what I want on the dash, behind the dash, and less stuff up in the front. A couple more wires in the back. I'll show you what I did up here. I want to build a block off plate right now. The only wires coming through the firewall are going to be the lighting harness, which is high beam, low beam, left, right, marker lights, and a horn. And then in addition to that, 3 wires to run a windshield wiper motor if I so desire. The other wires I want to run from the engine compartment into the car will be 2 large gauge wires that go from the fan or cooling system. I usually stash a couple relays out here somewhere, just easy to get to. And then I'll use the ECU to excite those relays. Still need to clean up some wiring on the engine compartment or on the motor. I've just kind of got everything kind of close. But so there's that. Today I'm going to pop out the headlights and ground them, hook the plugs up. Headlights will work. I've gone ahead and built the plugs with the Molexes supplied by EasyWire. So the headlights are actually plugged in. The switch is actually plugged in. The ignition switch. Battery didn't go dead, so that's good. So the only other thing I need to do is I did it steering column coming, so I'm not going to get into the turn indicator yet. So I need to interface this into that. That will give me brake lights and blinkers. Like I said, the other harness is already run to the back. Since it is going through the wheel well, I did it on that side, I'm going to do it on this side. I will generally run, say, a 4-foot piece of heater hose over this whole thing, just to put it so that there's no chance of that wire potentially getting pinched or rubbing on anything. It'll just create a problem in the future. Generally, you wrap it all in tape. That doesn't really protect it. You can put it all in that braided conduit, power braid, which is a great product. It looks great, but if there's a sharp piece of metal or something in there and the wire's getting pulled back and forth, that's going to create a problem also. So better to, I just run it through a piece of heater hose. I'll zip side of the heater hose someplace so it's not laying on anything. It's basically creates a little safety sleeve that is a little bit more difficult to wear through. Yeah, left blinker, rear blinker, brake lights and reverse lights, and then there's a couple of extra wires that come in the harness. They give you provisions for a third stop light, an interior light in the back of the vehicle. When I went ahead and pulled that, that's the orange and white. And this is obviously the right side, along with an additional wire for fuel pump. Also, there's 2 small wires in there that are going to trigger a couple of relays in the back to roll the back window up and down from the front. That'll be reverse polarity. Anyway, that's really about it. Clean some stuff up, build some seat brackets, blow this thing out with an air hose, and drive it around a little bit. Start doing little stuff, sort of to personalize it for me. I've run provisions in the front to run the courtesy lights under the dash. I probably won't use those. I'll probably just use LEDs, just because they're smaller, double stick them right to the bottom of the dash. You turn them on, it looks cool. That's it. Yeah, let me button up a couple of things. We'll take these things for a quick little spin. Project update. So I've been trying to put this thing together for a long time, and I use the term trying loosely because for a long time it was just sitting around. I had lost motivation. The fire had gone out, but now the fire is back on. Headlights are installed and wired. Use a little plastic retainer just like factory to hold harness up inside the core support. So that is actually wired. I got to wire obviously the electric fan, but these are LED bulbs that actually have little fans in them. Another pile of wire. Took off that steering wheel and put on a Chevelle steering wheel I had. I got to swap out the headlight switch. But we have headlights, we have high beam, we have low beam. And check this out. We have tail lights. I do still need to wire in the license plate light. The rear bumper is original. I don't know what it's off of, but I think it's a Chevelle or something. I believe the filler was right there. A little piece missing. I'm gonna weld the piece in there. And yeah, I'm pretty jazzed with this. Mason did an amazing job. These things were covered in overspray, and he cleaned them all up. They look like little survivors. I like the patina of the reverse lens. I will get some new ones at some point, but for now, that's fine. Still need to make some block off plates for the angry happy face in the back there. Glove box is in. Seat, I've messed around with a little bit. I think I got it just about right. It's got a little bit of gangsta lean going on there. I may lower it just a little bit more, but I'm gonna wait till my I Did It steering column gets here, which will be Monday next week. However, I will be at the studio, but I'll see where that thing hangs out. But other than that, I'm pretty jazzed right now. I wanna mess around with these body lines a little bit, put some more fender bolts and stuff in there, maybe get down the seal plates and put those in. And probably take this thing for a spin, literally out on the street. I've not done that yet. I will make sure I make a video. Be right back. Okay, we are on the road right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say barely.
We're doing it.
Yeah, when it gets running, it's got to get driving. So, yeah, we're rolling. Bumper to bumper traffic. Really can't really do much. It just cruise. Fans are running.
some things. It's okay. There's some rattles in the back. I got a little buzz going from the carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't patch the holes in the floor.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good? You're good?
Yeah, kind of.
All right, we can wash it out with some tacos. But yeah, burning some of the stuff off the exhaust. Put a little heat into it, cruising around.
Yep.
It's good times.
Hey, it feels good. Suspension is working.
Yeah, suspension works.
Yes,
All
sir.
American.
Yep. Good job.
Absolutely nothing on the dashboard works, but you can see the headlights in the trunk of that car up there.
I do have drink holders.
Yeah, we got cup holders.
Yes, sir. I got it.
Then honestly, it's just what's sitting in the drive in.
That's it.
Yeah, Tuner Tom has not finished the tune on this thing, but you know what? It's hitting on all the cylinders. Maybe take it out of overdrive. I think spinners might be a little loose still.
I like it.
Yeah, tuner.
Seems pretty smooth.
Fix some rattles. That little tin bolt in the back, its days are numbered. I think its days were numbered when I started this project.
Yeah. We need your surfboard.
Slalom, should we do it?
Do it.
You know, I would. If we had an alignment on this thing, I'd slalom that.
Cone filler.
Yeah, you can hear the rear end howling. I'd go full dulcich on those tones. Nobody goes full dulcich.
Straight line.
You know what I forgot to put on? Any mirrors.
Look at these mirrors.
Yeah. Honestly, what's behind you doesn't matter. Hold on. I was gonna flip the camera around if I can. Look at that crater. Now, is most of the first spot or the second spot?
First spot.
Right there, right?
We are here. Oh, look at that. Saved you parking.
Yeah, they did.
It's good enough for now.
We made it, man. Now let's talk about tacos.
Let me out. I got this.
Okay, maiden voyage. Went well. What do you think, Jason?
Like it.
It's a cruiser.
I like your butternuts.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for subscribing. And leave some comments. Leave some likes if you like it. More videos to come. See you later. What's up, fellas?